Hello everyone, this is Will from Apple One-to-One Training, and it's day 2 of announcements. Apple has introduced a brand new M5 lineup of the MacBook Pro, a new M5 MacBook Air, a new Studio Display XDR that is replacing the Pro XDR display and the regular Studio display. And these are a lot of announcements to come out in one day, but even one announcement that Apple didn't tell us about that accidentally leaked, and we're going to talk about that at the end. We're going to go over a little bit about the MacBook Pro, MacBook Air a little bit and show a comparison between the previous models so you can get an idea where we've come from the original M1 lineup to now where we are today. Please subscribe and join us for all of the content that we do here on our training channel, but today we're going to focus directly on these announcements. So what did Apple come out with? Here's the basics. Apple has a brand new M5 lineup. This is a massive update. What they've done is they have introduced a new M5 Pro and M5 Max. Apple is using a brand new Fusion architecture that fuses into 2 chips into one. Both get an 18-core CPU and 6 new super cores delivering up to 30% faster performance. The M5 Pro brings up a 20-core GPU, 64 gigs of unified memory, and over 4 times the GPU performance of the M4 Pro, and even 6 times faster than the M1 Pro for AI work. The Max has a 40-core GPU, 120 gigs of unified memory, and even better multi-threaded CPU performance, making it straight up a powerhouse for pros. Apple also came up with the M5 Air, MacBook Air today as well. They compare the M4 Air, and Apple says that the 5 is noticeably faster for everyday tasks, multitasking, creative workflows, within improved graphics and better AI performance, while keeping, of course, a fanless design. So for all of us, we have faster Macs here. That's the bottom line. Regarding the M5 Air, what they have done is that they have taken everything from the previous one, putting an M5 chip in here, but also what they've also done is they've increased the price. But part of increasing the price was giving you a 512 storage. So that is the difference between the previous one and this one, is that they've increased the storage amount of your default buy. So if you were to go to viewing the pricing now, what used to be $999 is now $1099 for this. I know a lot of people are going to be backlash to this, I'm sure. And then we have our same colors. You're getting a 10-core GPU, 8-core GPU, 16-core neural engine for $1099, and then 16 gigs of memory, and then of course the 512 storage. So you're getting more room now than before. You used to have to pay $200 more for that. So memory is really expensive right now, and Apple is, I would say, has become a cheaper deal to get memory increases. If you were to go get a 24 gig memory selection, you also get a 10-core GPU upgrade. So you go from 8 to 10, and you're getting a 24 gig memory design for $200 more. You can tell you right now, you've seen the news. If you haven't been looking, RAM has been increasingly going up. So just something to know about that. Apple, even though has always cost so much money for RAM, today it's starting to become a little bit better than what it used to be. But I know a lot of people will not be happy about that $1099 increase, so that's just one thing we have to deal with. If we were to show the comparison of the original M1 to the M4 to the M5, this is a list to show you some basics of what has been done in the time frame, including the cores, the memory, the starting storage. Not much has changed from the M4 here to the M5. There really isn't much except for the actual chip. And of course, there's nothing different with the design of this device. It's all the same. But if you really look at what the M1 used to be, there are differences in here, including the ProRes. They do better with the video encoder. So there's definitely improvements from the original M1 to where we are with the M5 now. And of course that they started the price as an increase, and again, display wise has not changed. So the M1, as far as design wise, all that wise, it's just really a spec bump with a storage bump. Let's talk about the powerhouses, the M5 Pro and the M5 Max. So again, this is comparing a M1 Pro or M1 Max. Now, this is the computer I have right now. I have an M1 Max 16-inch. So this is the comparison to where we are. We start at $2,199 or $3,899. Phew, that is so much money for this stuff. But you're getting a 2 terabytes default storage with a 16-inch Max. So that's something to know about, that you are getting an increase in storage. When this original machine came out, it was definitely small as far as the storage goes. I think I had to pay like $1,000 more to get a bigger storage, and you'll see the comparison. I had to pay $1,000 to go from, I think, the original 512 or the 1 terabyte up to a 4 terabyte. And you'll see the difference now in the cost to go from 2 to 4 what I used to have to pay. But you can see the core difference here, the 16 that it started with now going up to a 36 as a starting point for the M1 Max, and then 24 for the Pro. And then you can see all the differences in the neural engine increase, starting at 16 gigs of memory going up to 36 here with the Max. I started off with a 32 as well, so just so you know that I did get that. Obviously, display-wise, not much has changed with the display here at all. There is some audio improvements for video isolation compared to my model, but again, not much here. Let's actually go through and buy one of these and view the pricing of it. So because I am going to be more of a Max user or a 16-inch user, that's the one I'm going to start with here. So they also have the nano texture display for $150. I think it was $100 before, so I think they've actually increased the price of that display, but I would do that. And then if I get the M5 Max chip here, I'm getting a default 18 to 32 core GPU, which I'm not going to increase. I'm going to leave that where it is. 36 gigs of memory is more than fine for what I need to do. And then the terabyte storage increase. So if I go up, it used to be $1,000 compared to what I had before, and now it's $600. So I think they've relatively evened it out, because I paid about this up here. You can see up here the price for this, what it would cost me to buy this right now, which is crazy. I know that is crazy. But these chips have been incredible. I don't even think I need a Max at this point. the more I've been using my computer, and if I realized if I upgrade to a Pro chip, I think I could actually get away with everything that the Pro does, because of the memory, because of the going to look at that. It's a much cheaper price here. So I'm not going to be buying this. It's not a new design Mac. I don't need a new one for this. But these are just incredible devices. What incredible speed. The interesting one is the new Studio Display and Studio Display XDR. Now, the Studio Display XDR used to be called the Pro XDR Display. They have changed the naming, but most importantly, they changed the price. This was like a $5,000 machine down to $32.99, and they actually have a comparison here of which display is right for you. One of the things right away I noticed right out of the box was the stand. They now include a tilt and height adjustable stand included. That was not the case, I believe, on the original. I think you had to pay extra for all that, where you have to get a tilt and height adjustable option for the Studio Display. But you can see the difference here between, they have now had the 120 refresh rate. They have mini LEDs now, 1000 nits, 200 HDR brightness. So you can see that there is some good display differences, and the fact that the price went down, and then they included the tilt and height adjustable already in it. That's a plus. This makes this a much better deal than it was before. Studio Display, again, $1,599. I wish that was much better regarding. I think that should be a $1,000 display max. I really think it's too much money for what that is. And now we're getting only halfway to this design, where you get a lot of the perks in here. Might make the Studio Display look a lot better in pricing wise. So let's talk about the one thing they accidentally forgot to do, and that is on the regulatory document that there was a new MacBook Neo announced, and they caught a screenshot of it here. Good job to Mac Rumors and other sites who caught that. But we now know the name of this new computer. It's going to be called the MacBook Neo for this new discounted Mac, which we know is coming tomorrow. This is going to be the last announcement they're going to do for it. And this lower MacBook, I'm wondering what the price range is going to be. And we don't know. We're knowing between $599 and $799. My worry is that because now that they increased the storage of the MacBook Air starting at $1099, really $999 for education users, my worry is they're going to justify the $800 price now for this Neo device, because they increased the amount on there, which I think is a mistake. The $699 to me is the right price for this Mac. They need to keep it there. And we know that tomorrow, this is going to be the announcement for tomorrow, this brand new Neo, and they're going to have video. And they're going to have videos for it and everything. So I'm sure we're going to see some information about this Neo. But that's all the Mac announcements that came out today. Nothing too crazy. Again, they just upgraded all the chips inside of all these devices. They did increase the price, though, $100 on each model, so they can justify the storage increase. So that's something we have to, unfortunately, kind of go with. It's up to you if you're happy or not about that. But I think that the biggest thing is this new Studio XDR. I think it's great that we have a better display with more options, more brightness, 120 hertz, and that it's cheaper. And I think that was the important thing out of today. Let me know in the comments anything you wanted to talk about or discuss. And we have tomorrow more announcements to come. So stay tuned, everybody. And I love every single one of you.